Minister, on the 14th of June, a US Air Force KC-135 mid-air refuelling aircraft from Alabama landed at Shannon Airport. Now, this aircraft couldn't possibly ever be not involved in military activity. That's its purpose, to refuel military aircraft. I'm wondering where the Defence Forces called to that, who called them there, and what was their function on the day.
Yeah, this is similar questions have been asked in the past, and this is a similar answer. Garda Síochána has the primary responsibility for law and order, including the protection of internal security of the state. Among the roles assigned to the Defence Forces is the provision of aid to civil power, which in practice means assisting Garda Síochána when asked to do so. On occasions since 2003, the Defence Forces have deployed to Shannon Airport in this role in support of Garda Síochána on many occasions. The decision to seek support from the Defence Forces is an operational matter for Garda Síochána. Accordingly, any security assessment and the reasons for decisions to seek support from the Defence Forces are also a matter for Garda Síochána. In relation to the landing mentioned by the Deputy in her question, I can confirm that in response to a previous ATCP request made by Garda Síochána, Defence Force personnel were already present at Shannon Airport when the aircraft in question landed and continued to be deployed after it departed.
Yeah, I'm not entirely clear, Minister. It is a similar answer, but I'm not sure this is an entirely similar situation. Since I tabled the question, your colleague, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, confirmed that this aircraft had actually made an unscheduled landing, allegedly as a result of a technical diversion. And I think it is a bit peculiar that increasingly, when we ask questions about specific aircraft landing, quite a few of them now are landing without permission. Now, you say that they were already present. Why were the Defence Forces already present? And you say that they stayed after. Were they diverted to this aircraft? Were they present there? And what they do is my question. Because you see, this is important in terms of compliance with our neutrality, because it's not the case, as you said earlier, that neutrality means looking at things on its merits and deciding. In actual fact, it doesn't mean that. Being neutral means not taking sides. And if we're facilitating US military aircraft on a regular basis, which we are without proper authorisation, then that is a breach of our neutrality, and it is a serious problem.
Minister? Yeah, no, my understanding here, Deputy, is that we were there assisting Garda Síochána, having been requested to do so before this aircraft landed, and we happened to be there when it landed, and we were still there when it took off. But in terms of the granting of permission, under the Air Navigation Foreign Military Aircraft Order 1952, all foreign military aircraft require the permission of the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Trade to overfly or to land in the state. And that's where the primary responsibility lies. I don't have the full details as to the reason why this aircraft landed, but it was presumably diverted for some reason. But I suspect we can get the details from the Minister for Foreign Affairs on the reason for that. But certainly from a defence perspective, I don't think there was any threat to Ireland from facilitating that landing.
I could maybe explain the threat, and I realise that you're only one of 4 departments that deal with this issue. But you made the point earlier that our approach to the Mediterranean was a humanitarian one. But we need to step back from that. I will put it back to you. If it was, we'd be taking a hell of a lot more refugees than we've agreed to take. We wouldn't be just leaving them in Italy for the Italians to deal with them. But in any case, if we were really concerned, we'd be standing back and looking at the circumstances that made these people refugees in the first place. And one of the key reasons for that is the destabilisation of the region and the interference by the US military, an interference which we have facilitated and continue to to facilitate through the use of Shannon Airport. And unless we address those issues, then we are complicit in the circumstances that are giving rise to all those people desperately drowning in the Mediterranean and all of the other circumstances of destabilisation in that region. So maybe it would be something that you might like to take up at Cabinet, because there's an incredible inconsistency in our alleged neutrality while we allow this to continue on a twice daily basis now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you and I have a fundamentally different view of the role that the United States plays in the world. I'm not saying that mistakes haven't been made, but I don't see every conflict and every cause of mass migration in places like North Africa being caused by the United States. I just don't see that. I think that some conflicts and some broken states are now trying to recover from wars that the United States and many others have been involved in. But that's not the same thing as to suggest that they were caused by that. But it's also not true to say that we're not thinking about and debating and talking about what the European Union can do in the medium term to try and address the causes of mass migration in places like North Africa, across multiple states. And actually, we have Defence Force personnel in some of the countries concerned trying to assist in providing stability and peace. In Mali, for example, in a training mission that I visited back around St. Patrick's Day. So let's not simplify this. This is a hugely complex problem. Ireland is interested in longer term solutions and investment in trying to bring stability to states where there's currently significant migration problems because of fear of regimes and persecution and so on. But there are multiple solutions required here. One of them is search and rescue, which we're actively part of, but we're also part of the broader debate as well.
Thank you. Question number